Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us here at Railbookers today for one of our special online presentations. It's great to have your company. I hope you're somewhere staying cool and enjoying the warm weather. I'm in sunny Kent this morning, speaking to you from there. So great to have your company. And whilst we just wait for the last few people to complete their registration, by all means, pop in the questions box where you're joining me from this morning. Hope you've got a tea and coffee ready for our time together. So yeah, just be interesting to see where you're joining me from if you'd like to pop that in the questions box. A chilly South Yorkshire. I'm sorry it's not so warm in South Yorkshire. I'm not going to complain about the heat down in the southeast, but the paddling pool has definitely come into its own this week for sure. Thank you for your company. It's nice to have you with us from South Yorkshire. I can see Derby as well. I can see Essex as well. So great to have people and Berkshire. Good morning, Berkshire. Lovely to have you with us. So I'm just going to double check if there's anybody else left to join and come in. Good morning to the West Midlands as well. Lovely to have your company. So right, let's get started. This morning we're looking at holidays very close to home and some of our UK trips that you can take this year. So we're going to take about 40 minutes probably to go through the presentation this morning. First things first, my name's Anna Davis. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager for the UK team here at Railbookers, and I'm going to be your host for our time together this morning. A few of you have found the questions box to tell me where you're joining from. If you do have any questions as we go through, then please do let me know. Happy to answer as we go through if I spot them, or we will have some time for questions and answers at the end of the session today. We've also attached a few handouts for you to take away with you today, so please do have a look out for those on the right hand side of the screen as well, specifically on some of our UK trips. If you have any issues downloading them, then don't worry, we can always send them through on an email after the presentation. So don't worry too much if you're not able to access them, but they are there to download if you wish. So what we're going to be covering in today's presentation, as I say, focusing on our UK trips. We've added quite a few UK holidays over the last couple of months for obvious reasons. So we're going to be focusing on our top 5 suggestions for those. Also going to be throughout the presentation really touching on how we can tailor these holidays. Not sure whether you've been on one of our presentations before, but we do offer the ability to customize and really tailor make any of our holidays to suit your exact requirements. So nothing is fixed in stone with our itineraries, and we'll be sharing how that all works. We'll also be briefly mentioning from a broader point of view what some of the rail carriers are doing in response to COVID, really to ensure that safe environment on board as well. I just wanted to start by sharing some of the special offers that we've got currently running, some great savings to be had, and worth pointing out, these are available on any of our departures for 2020, 2021 or 2022, because we can book up to 2 years in advance. So these are not limited to a specific departure range, but we are offering savings of £300, £400 and £500 off a wide range of destinations, and you'll find more information on our special offers page on our website on those. If you have been on one of our presentations before, I hope you won't mind just taking a few minutes just to touch on a few points that really makes Railbookers different for those who perhaps are new to us. Just wanted to touch on a few of these, not going to go through all of them. As I've mentioned, all of our holidays are bookable up to 2 years in advance. That's probably never been as important as it is now. So you do have the option to book for an immediate getaway for the UK, for example, or all the way through to 2022 for a longer trip further afield. We do offer freedom and flexibility. So as I say, nothing about our itineraries is set in stone. You have the freedom and flexibility to add in extra nights, add in extra destinations, do the itineraries in reverse, vary the level of accommodation, vary the level of class of service on the trains. Lots of different ways in which we can tailor these trips specifically to you. And for that reason, because all of our holidays can be entirely different from anybody else's, everything we do over the phone. So in terms of the booking process, in terms of the inquiries, the website is there with a wealth of information. It's not bookable because we do just prefer to speak to you to understand exactly what's important to you, exactly the sort of holiday that you're looking to put together, so that we can really get all of the elements right. So as I say, yeah, bookings and inquiries all done over the phone. You've got the telephone number there at the bottom, 0203 780 2222. Briefly just wanted to mention also that we do have a maximum flexibility offer in place. This we launched in response to COVID back in March, and we have extended it for all existing bookings and new bookings made up to the 30th of September. You'll have the option to reschedule or change, postpone your trip up to just 5 days prior to departure. Provides lots of peace of mind, takes the stress out of the situation. And again, if you'd like any more information on that, if you have any questions on that, please do get in touch and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Our holidays are independent. They're not group tours, they're not escorted tours. They are for customers who are looking to explore these destinations under their own steam with that flexibility and freedom. What that doesn't mean though is when you're traveling, you're on your own. You do have a 24-hour support line from us. Now, regardless of where you're traveling in the world, we have global teams. So we have teams in the States, in Canada, in Sydney, and in London. So wherever you're traveling, whatever time zone you're in, there will always be somebody awake from the Railbookers team that we're able to help with any issues or problems that you have whilst you're away. One of the downloads handouts that we've attached today is our European railway map. You'll see this on your screen now. It's not exhaustive by any means, but it does give you a really good indication of some of the breadth and scope of the destinations that we can help with. Also worth pointing out from your point of view that all of those different colours there, they're all different rail companies that all have their own rail systems, lots of different languages, lots of ticket release dates. If you ever tried to do this sort of thing independently, you'll know that it can be quite complex and quite stressful trying to match up everything with such a broad range of release dates. We take all of that complexity away from you, and we've been working with partners, rail partners, some of which are on the screen there, for 16 years now to create these independent holidays for our customers. We get access to their timetables, to their fares well in advance of public opening, so we can put all of these trips together for you. Before we just move into the UK holiday specifically, just wanted to touch on some of the things that the rail operators have in place and have had in place for quite some time now to maintain a safe environment. Worth pointing out that throughout the pandemic, many railways have been running as an essential service, and as they now move to accommodate more and more leisure customers back on board, they're already very well experienced and well versed about maintaining a safe environment on board, both for passengers and for staff. So just a few things that we are seeing in broad terms across our rail partners. Would also point out, if you have any specific questions about a specific rail operator that I don't address today, then please do by all means give us a call and we'll have specific information for those specific routes. But in general, facial coverings are required in stations and on trains, both for passengers and staff. In terms of onboard sales of food and drink, specifically in Europe really, but in most cases that is temporarily unavailable on board the train. If you've travelled on a Eurostar or similar a TGV in France, for example, they very often have a bar buffet carriage in the middle of the train. Those are currently closed, really to encourage people more than anything to stay in their seats for the duration of the journey, but it doesn't mean that you can't take food and drink on board, and we will be looking at the UK sort of side of things very shortly. Many train companies have changed the seat configuration and allocation on board so that there is more space between customers to allow for that social distancing. They have, as you would expect, increased the cleaning regimes on board, both in the common areas and at the end of each service, and more so now than ever, really limiting that contact between passengers and staff by using contactless ticket control, scanning tickets, that sort of thing. So there is less interaction and less passing of documents between staff and customers. But without further ado, let's get into all things UK holidays. And I've got some great holidays to share with you this morning. We're going to be looking at our top 5, as the title mentioned. And these are all over the UK, but really particularly a lot of focus on Scotland. And I'm going to start with our Grand Inverness and the Highlands via the Caledonian Sleeper. Now, a number of things as we'll move through these holidays in the presentation today. As I say, none of these itineraries are fixed in stone. So if you'd like to make any adjustments, if you'd like to add in extra nights, if you'd like to add in an extra destination, if there's anything on the itinerary that you would like to modify, then all of that is possible. But as a 6-day itinerary, it has a starting price of £649. That includes starting the journey in London with a night on board the Caledonian Sleeper, and you'll travel on board overnight from London up to Inverness. We have you based in Inverness for a suggested 4-night stay, and during that time you'll have a day trip out to the Isle of Skye and Eilean Castle included there, and you also then have an additional day out to Loch Ness and Glen Urquhart Castle. We do also include the hop-on hop-off pass for Inverness itself, so you can explore the local area as well there. And then at the end of the trip, it's a day service back from Inverness down to Edinburgh to catch the main line back down to London, snaking along the Northumberland coast. It's also quite a scenic part of the journey, and that completes the round trip. A couple of things to mention. If you'd like to do the Caledonian Sleeper in both directions, absolutely possible. If you'd like to do day services in each direction, also entirely possible. And the other thing to mention is we can book UK Rail from your local UK station. So if you'd like to join from any part of the UK to start this trip, you can either travel from your local station down to London to catch Caledonian Sleeper up. It does make a number of additional stops a little further north, I believe Crewe and Preston, so you can join further north as well if that's preferable. But yeah, we can also book any of the scheduled sort of day services for you to join this itinerary in Inverness, for example, if that's your preference. So a few images here of Eilean Castle, Glen Urquhart Castle. You've got that wide open space of Isle of Skye, bottom left, and Inverness city on the right-hand side, somewhere I am hoping to be within a fortnight myself, actually. Booked a trip north of the border this year for a getaway myself, so looking forward to exploring this region in the next few weeks. On board the Caledonian Sleeper, just a few images. This train was fully refurbished in 2019, so essentially brand new inside. There are typically 3 classes of service on the Caledonian Sleeper. There's the Classic, the Club, and the Double. And the images that you've got there on the right-hand side are of the Club. The Classic and the Club are very similar. They are the sort of bunk bed accommodation. The difference between the Classic and the Club is that the Club has en-suite facilities as well for you. The Classic has shared facilities in the corridor for other cabins. The Caledonian Sleeper does also benefit from a double bed accommodation level as well. There are 2 double beds per train set, and so pretty unusual now to still find a double bed on board an overnight sleeper, but definitely worth considering if you're looking to celebrate a special occasion, for example. That has as I say, 2 double beds per set. And the Caledonian Sleeper runs 6 days a week. So it doesn't run on Saturdays, but it runs Monday to Friday and Sunday as well. There is the Lowland Sleeper, which runs to Glasgow and Edinburgh, and there's the Highland Sleeper, which includes this one running up to Inverness. What you also have on board is the Club Lounge, which serves freshly prepared food made by private chefs, fully stocked bar, fully catered, fabulous quality of sort of regional produce there as well. Right now with COVID, you do also have the option to eat in your cabin as well, so the food can be served from the lounge car in your cabin, so that you can sort of facilitate that distancing from other passengers, and breakfast also included and can be served that way as well. So you have the option either to have it in your cabin or in the lounge car. Now, staying with the Caledonian Sleeper, but a slight change destination. It's our London, Edinburgh and York combination using the Caledonian Sleeper. So this starts with the sleeper service from London, this time up to Edinburgh. So on the Lowland Sleeper that I mentioned, which serves Edinburgh and Glasgow, you'll have a night on board that, and then a 2-night stay in Edinburgh, during which time we include a city tour. And then you'll also then travel back down south to York, have a 2-night suggested stay in York with a hop-on hop-off sightseeing pass there included, before then travelling back to London for a night there, or to then just return back to your local station. So that's a 7-day trip with a slightly different variation of destination. You've got some of those images there. Again, you've got Edinburgh, particularly there on the right hand side. And I mentioned that there was a Scottish focus. The third trip does include Scotland again, but a slightly different combination of destinations. And this is the Edinburgh and the Jacobite train. Now, the Jacobite, often now referred to as the Harry Potter train, featured in that film, those films rather. And this is on many people's bucket lists, actually. And this is a 6-day trip starting from £1,049. It's described as one of the greatest railway journeys in the world. The Jacobite is just 84 miles as a round trip, but passes through a list of magnificent scenery and a really spectacular route to enjoy. So this trip starts with a Caledonian Sleeper up to Edinburgh on that lowland line, and then there is a night in Edinburgh before then joining the Jacobite up from Glasgow up to Fort William. You're spending 2 nights in Fort William, travelling up to Mallaig on the Jacobite, which runs between Fort William and Mallaig, and then it's back down to Edinburgh for a night stay before then returning back to London. So you have the Caledonian Sleeper, you have admission to the Edinburgh Castle, you have that round trip journey on the Jacobite Steam train, and the Jacobite, it runs starts near obviously Ben Nevis, Britain's highest mountain, and Britain's most westerly mainland railway station. Passes many freshwater lochs, Loch Morar, for example, and as I say, famous from appearing in the Harry Potter film series. And en route to Mallaig, you'll stop at the beautiful village of Glenfinnan. It's just really an endless list of magnificent scenery as you approach views of Rum, Muck, Canna, and the southern tip of Skye. A really spectacular and special route. Just a few images here of that journey on board. The very famous viaduct there on the right hand side, and very comfortable accommodation, first class and second class, available on the Jacobite on board. As I say, it's just an 84-mile round trip, so it's a few hours in each direction, done as a day trip from Fort William, but one that's very popular for customers this year. And as I say, it has been described as one of the greatest journeys in the world, actually. So short but very sweet, and very highly recommended. Now, if you're looking to do a very special kind of trip to perhaps celebrate a very special occasion, special birthday, special anniversary, then the Belmond Royal Scotsman might be one for your list. This is a much longer itinerary. So it's a 13-day trip with a price of £6,399. But this is a very packed itinerary with lots of great things going on. So again, it uses the Caledonian Sleeper to travel up to Inverness. You are based in Inverness, first of all, for a 2-night stay, and during that time you have a day trip out to Loch Ness and Glen Affric there included. Then it's back down from Inverness to Edinburgh, and to start off with, you'll be based in Edinburgh for 2 nights. Before you then board the Royal Scotsman in Edinburgh for 3 nights on board the Belmond service, during which time you're exploring the West Highlands, the Isle of Bute, Weymouth Bay, lots of fabulous sites and excursions included in this. So as you can see at the bottom, you've got tea, for example, at Inverlochy Castle included on this. You've got excursions to Morar Sands, to the Cullen Mountains, to Glenfinnan Monument, lots and lots included outside of the train, but you also have the fabulous experience of travelling on board Belmond in all of that luxury and comfort that you would come to associate with Belmond's brand. So just a few images here. You've got the welcome with the 24-hour steward service, really, really high level of service on board these trains. You've got entertainment throughout. You've got that spectacular scenery as you travel along the West Highland Line on that 3-night stay. On board, very, very comfortable. You can see, really harkening back to almost a golden age of travel. Again, recently refurbished, so very, very comfortable, very high standard of accommodation. Silver service, you've got tea, you've got the single malts, you've got lots of entertainment throughout, from local guides to whiskey tasting. Really lots of different things included during your journey. And all of this kind of common area, the dining, the lounge cars available throughout the trip as well for you to have a change of scene from your cabin. Fabulous cuisine on board. Again, as you'd come to expect with Belmond, private chefs, silver service, butlers, concierge, nothing really too much for any of the staff to accommodate any requests from you. There is a big focus on regional produce as well, so you be sure to taste some Scottish delicacies as well, specialities, venison, haggis, some of the brilliant Scottish seafood, some of the best I've ever eaten on this journey as well. You can see just from some of the pictures how beautiful that scene, that the cuisine, sorry, is. And then your cabin itself, you can see here, this is an example of one of the twin cabins. It's converted between sort of seating and bed during your dinner service typically. So when you're having dinner, the steward will come and convert this into sleeping accommodation for your evening. But again, lots of wood cladded panels, really highly finished furnishings, settings, really, really comfortable, really luxurious, and a very picturesque big window for you to see all of that magnificent scenery out from the comfort of your cabin as well. Now, also wanted in today's presentation really to share with you the wide range of holidays. So we do have those longer, more luxurious itineraries for a special occasion, for a special birthday, for a special anniversary. But we do also have shorter itineraries as well. If you're looking for a short getaway, just to have a change of scene, a little bit closer to home, then we have a number of those sort of city breaks available as well. Firstly, starting with York, and this is a suggested 3-day stay. And again, we can start this from any UK station. So the station that's closest to you, please just let us know where that is, and we'll organise the UK rail for you to reach York. And you then have 2 nights hotel accommodation on a bed and breakfast basis in York. And during the time, we do include quite a lot of additional extras through the York Attraction Pass. So during your time in York there, you'll have access to the hop on hop off sightseeing pass to get your bearings, to explore. You have a river cruise, you have entrance to the chocolate story in York as well, with Roundtree and all that history that is associated with the city. You have the Minster to visit, for example. There's a whole wealth of things to do in a couple of days there in York. So a great option if you're just looking, as I say, for a short getaway, for a change of scene. Starting price £549 for a 3-day break. And we do have a wide range of those sort of single centre UK breaks available. So just also wanted to mention some of the additional options that we have for you here. So if you just wanted to, for example, visit Edinburgh, then we can do that as a 3-day break, or longer if you wanted to stay longer, from £399. We have a city break in Liverpool for £349 available as well. London, a little further afield, Dublin. Again, that's still a no-fly option, so that's using the train to Holyhead, the ferry over to Dublin, and then a 3-night stay there before returning back to your local UK station. And we're also imminently going to launch some additional breaks to destinations including Bath, Oxford and Cambridge on the list as well. So lots of different ones to choose from, as I say, with a range of 2-night, 3-night stay, all the way up to a longer 2-week itinerary and everything in between. So I hope that's given you some ideas of where you could plan your next holiday in the UK with Railbookers. Again, some really great itineraries, particularly north of the border, lots of open space, lots of magnificent scenery, lots of fresh air, and a really iconic way to travel by train. It really kind of gives you scenery that you wouldn't see traveling any other way. So lots of things for you to consider there, hopefully. Wanted to just finish off with a few additional points. Our website, as I mentioned, it's not bookable because we do like to do everything inquiry-wise, booking-wise over the phone. But if you visit railbookers.co.uk, you'll find lots more information on all of the holidays that I've mentioned today. You'll find a day-by-day itinerary, the route map, and pricing all the way through to 2022, as I mentioned. We do also have a great trip planning section as well, which will talk you through some of the expectations, what you'll find on board, luggage allowance, that kind of thing as well. Now, because of COVID, we're not able to send out any paper brochures at the moment in the post, but if you would like to receive any or all of our brochures, we have three: the worldwide, the Canadian, or the North American Amtrak brochure there. If you'd like to receive a PDF version of any or all of those, again, please do just pop in the questions box and we'll be sure to get a copy sent out to you. As you probably know, we do run these webinars every week, these online presentations on every Tuesday, every Thursday, and just wanted to mention some of the topics that we've got coming up. So next week we'll be looking at our top rail holidays via the Alps, looking at that perennial favourite really for Railbookers customers, that takes you to Geneva, a night in Geneva before then travelling through the Alps and into northern Italy, skirting around Lake Maggiore, and then really combining with any number of iconic Italian destinations there. And then the following week we'll be looking at our no-fly holidays and our best recommendations for travelling further afield into Europe, as well as a little closer to home without having to fly. So do look out for the newsletter invites that will mention those registrations. Again, if you'd like to get signed up for any of those, then please do just pop in the questions box and I'll get the details over to you after the presentation today. So at this point, really just a question of your questions. So if you have anything that you would like to ask, please do let me know. I'm just going to have a quick scan through. I can see somebody, thank you very much, saying that I'm going to love the Highlands. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. I've not been to that part of Scotland before. So we have a week on the East Coast and then moving into the Highlands and the Cairngorms. So thanks for that. Really looking forward to seeing it, and I will be sure to let you know how I get on. It's a very good point as well, actually. Somebody's just mentioned here. In York, of course, you can also do visit the National Railway Museum, which you can access from the railway station itself. So yeah, that's an absolute must, and I should have mentioned that. So thanks very much for that recommendation as well. That's brilliant. I can see also a few questions coming in about hotels in the UK. Yes, of course. Now, in general, and this is true of the UK as well, typically our hotels are normally about a 4-star rating. We typically have a range of 3, 4 and 5-star rated hotels across all of the destinations that we sell, and they are generally on a bed and breakfast basis. So in most of the destinations you will have some choice, and we are always able to accommodate specific requirements for hotels. So if you have somewhere particularly in mind that you'd like to stay, 99% of the time we can accommodate that. But we also do have ones that come highly recommended from past customers, and those are typically the ones that we would suggest. But again, there's flexibility in there. And if you're traveling on a wider itinerary with a number of stops, it's also absolutely possible to vary that level of accommodation between 3, 4 and 5-star in different destinations. If you're traveling for a birthday and on the night of your birthday or anniversary, for example, you want to splash out and be in a 5-star hotel for that part, but for the rest of the holiday prefer to be in a 3 or 4-star, then that's absolutely possible. So again, lots of different ways in which we can customize it and really make the trip exactly what you're looking for. I can also see a mention about senior rail card. That's absolutely something we can help with as well. So again, just another reason really why we like to speak to customers rather than doing it on the website. When we speak to you, then we can understand exactly your requirements and then apply any discounts that are applicable, all of that good stuff. So yes, that's absolutely something that we can help with. And I think, just scanning through, that may be all of the questions for now. If I've missed you, then I apologise, but I think that's covered everything. Great. So I can see a few people have asked to be signed up for next week, so that's great. Thank you very much for that. And again, if you have any questions that come to you after the session, you will get a copy of this sent through automatically, actually, so you can pass on to your partner or your friends if anybody you'd like to share it with. And if you do have any questions subsequently, then do just give us a call. We are very much open. We're open 9 to 5:30 5 days a week at the moment. So if you have any questions, anything you'd like more clarification on, or anything we can help you with across any of the destinations that we serve, then please do just let us know, and we look forward to hearing from you. So I think without further ado, and if only that were me playing the bagpipes, alas no, thanks for being with me this morning. It's been great to have your company. Again, just a reminder, we are very much open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5:30. Give us a call. We can also book via your local travel agent as well. So if you prefer to book via your travel agent, then do get in touch with them. We work with travel agents up and down the land, all independent travel agents really nationwide. So that's also an option. But again, thanks very much for your company. Hope you've managed to stay cool. Do enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and hope to have you with me on one of our online presentations very soon. Thanks for your time, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.